Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone, this is Ashima and in this video we'll be talking about daily news, daily current affairs. So the discussion point of the whole video is more on discussing the news events and bringing the information to your table so that you can all make your notes alongside for all the news events that are happening and are important for the examination first purpose. But for those who still want questions alongside for practice, we have them at Entri app. You can download the app from Google Play Store. For there, you'll get the option to choose the examination you're preparing for, to the initial registration process, and once that registration is complete, we have a free quiz of current affairs every day that has the app. You can download the app, and alongside you'll get various courses also, which will help you in preparing the examination you're preparing for. And alongside, you'll be getting 7 days free trial. So what more can you get? You'll just download the app, check that out, get the question, right? So here now in today's video, talking about a few news. And since budget announcement had happened, so certain schemes which are important from budget's perspective, which were announced in the budget, we are going to have a brief, overview over that also. That important points can be grasped from two of those, right? So we'll be beginning now with the first news event is a new asset reconstruction and asset management company which is going. Now this company is soon to be set up and this has been announced again as I told union budget. This is from the union budget announcement that had been done by the finance minister of India. Let's have a look at what this company is going to. Is going to look after the non-performing assets of stressed banks, all the stressed banks that are there, that is under pressure banks. For them, all the NPAs add to the burden, right? We all know that NPAs are a burden to the banks which are stressed. So, for those banks, this asset management company is going to be set up. And what will this company do? It will look after all the NPAs, and there are certain new amendments that will come forth. Like they haven't been announced yet, but there are certain amendments that are going to be announced that will be making it all easy for doing all of this work, right? So it is going to help all the stressed banks. Now the new amendment will be incorporated soon so that easy and time bound access can also be done to the savings by the people who have the accounts in the banks. Right. But what exactly are non-performing assets? If anyone asks, what are non-performing assets? These are those assets for which the payment is due. Like you've taken a loan from someone, so now that loan is a non-performing asset for the company, right? So delayed payments are non-performing assets, and looking after non-performing assets is why this company. Now, there are also asset reconstruction companies which are already present or paid by the government, and these companies are basically specialized financial institutions that buys the bad assets or the NP from banks and from financial institutions in a whole, right? So what is the purpose of ARCs? That is to purchase the all the NPAs that are there of the bank, right? So this way the balance sheet of the company remains clear via this ARC or asset company, right? All right. And government has also approved the increase of cover from 1 lakh to 5 lakh for bank depositors, and that is important. That is, the question can be asked that how much cover has been given by government as per the recent budget for all the depositors. So the depositor amount has been increased to 5 lakh. Last year it was reduced to 1 lakh. Now it has been increased to 5. Next is compliance for one person company. What do we have for this compliance of one person companies? Now, what are one person companies? First, we'll be having a look at that, and then we'll be looking at what are the compliances that have been announced. Right. So, one person companies are the companies that are having only one member and shareholders. These are mostly startups. Now, we are all promoting startups in India. We have startup culture that is developing soon, and government is also promoting startups. So, when there are startups, there are more one person companies. What are one person companies? Those companies which have only one member and shareholder. And now what is happening is that these companies will be allowed to grow without any restriction on paid up capital and turnover. That is, if there's a one person company, there is no cap that is going to be there on these companies regarding how how they are paying or what the turnover. Right now, as per the announcement, these will be allowed to grow and they can convert themselves to any other form of company whenever they find themselves comfortable. That is, they want to convert to some other, they can. It is not a necessitated move that they have to remain a company once they are that. Now, residency limit has also been increased has been reduced. So, residency limit has been reduced from 182 days to 120 days. Now, in this, NRIs are also being improved. That is, NRIs who want to open their startups in India earlier were restricted as they did not have the compliance to open a startup in India. But now, even NRIs have been permitted to start up their own companies in India. Right? Then, going ahead, electricity distribution reform program has been introduced. Again, this is announced in the budget, and in this 3.05 trillion electricity distribution reform program was announced. And what is this whole program about? It will be reducing the losses and it will improve the efficiency of energy distribution companies or discoms as a whole. Right. So what is happening is now the people will be given an option to choose from which electricity supplier they want the electricity. And this will bring in a healthy competition in the market as per the budget speech as it was. Right. So, for this purpose, an electricity amendment bill 2021 is soon to be tabled into the parliament, and the discussions might happen on that soon enough. Right now, Atal Distribution System Improvement Yojana, which is a reform linked and research based scheme, is what this is. So, it is something which will be subsuming the integrated power development scheme and the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti. Right now, what is the aim of the scheme is to cut down the electricity losses that are happening, and the cut down will be about 12 to 15% of the current level. Right, earlier this yojana was known as Atal Distribution System. Right, all right, now scheme will be working in a phased manner. That is, there are going to be certain phases like phase 1, phase 3, and dependingly the regions are going to be covered in that. And the scheme also aims to narrow the deficit of the cost of electricity and the price at which it is supplied. So, the cost at which the electricity is being generated and the supply rate, both of them should narrow down to zero. That is, the cost at which it is being produced should be the cost that people pay. That is the purpose of the scheme, is to bring the gap to zero. That is, bring them on the same level. Right? And this is going to be done by 2025. Going ahead, 8th India International Silk Fair was inaugurated recently by Smriti Irani, who is the current Textile Union Minister of India. This is the biggest silk fair of India, and in India, silk is considered as a luxury good. Now, around 97% of the raw mulberry silk is produced in mainly 5 states: Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, West Bengal, and Gujarat. These are the 5 states where the raw mulberry silk is used in India. And in terms of production, India is the second largest silk, biggest producer being China. So China is the biggest producer. After that, this on the second rank we have India. While in consumption, we are the largest consumers of silk. Now, alongside being the producer of mulberry silk, we also have three other varieties. That is, India is the only country in the world that produces all four major varieties of silk. Mulberry is there, then we have eri, asar, and muga. All four varieties of silk are produced, and that is something that you need to know because the only country in the world that produces all the four varieties, major four varieties. Then we have National Infrastructure Pipeline. Now, this National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Bill is into consideration as of now, or it is being considered to implement as of now. Right. So, what exactly do we have in this? Have a look at that. Development of finance institutions or DFI are going to be set up. Now, what are DFIs? DFIs are specialized institutions that will provide fund for infrastructure projects. So for infrastructure projects, there is going to be a separate bank or an institution that is going to be up, which will be backed by the government, but it will help in funding the projects under the national infrastructure pipeline, right? So it is the principal financial institution and a development bank which help to build and sustain a supportive ecosystem of the projects and the development projects that happen alongside. So the announcement has taken place in the budget, but the discussions are soon to take place. It will be the provider, the enabler, the catalyst for the infrastructure finance. Next, a few one-liners. The president has launched the first round of Pulse Polio Program 2021 recently. Then ISRO Chief K. Sivan had inaugurated private satellite which was developed by 12 students of Sri Shakti Institute of Engineering and Technology at Coimbatore. And this is going to be launched in February later, but right now it hasn't been launched yet. It's going to be launched soon, right? Then Nepal has awarded the 679 megawatt Lower Arun hydropower project to India's Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam. This power project has been gifted to India as of now. Like most of the times, what we have heard is that we are gifting Nepal something, but this time Nepal has gifted India this project or this hydroelectric power plant, right? Now what has been given to the company? So build, own, operate and transfer, known as boot delivery method, that has been given to it. We have this SJVM, Satluj Jal with has the capacity to build it, own it, operate it and transfer the, right? And Russian President Vladimir Putin on January 29 had signed a bill to ratify the 5-year extension of new strategic arms reduction treaty. Now, this new START treaty is very important. So, it is between which countries? It is between United States and Russia. That is an important issue. That new START policy is of which or between which countries? It is between United States and Russia, and this fine is signed by Russia also. Now it has been extended to more 5 years or 5 more years. That is, it is going to end in 2026 now. On February 2026, it is going to end now after the extension has been implemented. Then voluntary vehicle scrappage policy has is soon to come up. It hasn't come up yet. The guidelines haven't come up, but they're soon to come up. So in the vehicle scrappage policy, 20 years life has been set for private vehicles and 15 years life has been set for vehicles. That is, only this old vehicles are allowed. Older than that, they will go to scrappage. They will be scrapped. So this is the policy. Recently, the Ministry of Road Transport has also launched a certain policy, and in line with both of them, a common policies for a guideline is to come. Then R.S. Sharma has been appointed as a new Chief Executive Officer of Ayushman Bharat and Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. The direct question of appointments that you can face in the examination. That is, they'll ask you directly who has been, appointed as a Chief Executive Officer of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya. Second, they can ask you is who is the implementing agency or who looks after that. That is an agency. It is by National Health Authority. Right now, how long has he been He has been appointed. He has been appointed for a term period of 3 years. Right? Is he a part of any other program? Yes, he was earlier chairman of TRIO Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and he has also worked as a member of National Expert on COVID-19 Vaccine Administration. Right. All right. Now, with this, we wind up this section. Thank you so much. It has been wonderful interacting with all of you. I hope this session has been helpful to all of you. We'll see you in the next video with more such news events. Until then, goodbye. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead, and good luck with your